Okay, so Mohammed, can you got it?
This is
Okay,
awesome. We got it. All right. So
okay.
yeah,
Started
because I
working.
wanted to, the reason why, because I think this might be relevant to a lot of students, and if they wanted to really watch it later, they can come back to it. So yeah, good morning, everyone. Today, we are having this, perhaps presentation hybrid, which is okay. I guess we've been doing this for a long time. Plus, it might be making it easier for me to present, because I'm usually, I present almost every day to the students now, but when I'm going to present something which is a bit personal, maybe this way it's easier for me to, detach a bit and be less, let's say, stressed about it. So, and you'll know why, because this is going to be a bit personal. So when I thought about it to be personal, because also we thought that you may want to see the other side of the story, right? Because maybe you see in your everyday, you see, faculty, you see instructors teaching you courses, but you don't really know that these people also went through what you have gone through, what are you going through right now. So I want to share that experience with you. And I thought about three things I should maybe give you as takeaways from what I have learned. And yeah, my story doesn't necessarily, it's the best story ever, but again, it's something that you may learn from. That's the purpose of the story. Okay, so I'm, as I'm in the Department of Software Engineering. I've been here for now 5 years. I've been, mentoring a lot of students, undergrad, grad, and PhD students. And my area of research, of course, is software refactoring, testing, quality in general. So this is what I do for a living. Okay, so today we are in 2021, right? So this is where we are right now. So I'm going to take you back to 2012, where I first came to the States, right? So, and that was me 9 years ago. Well, this is my second day in the States, first day in school, because I came late, just like a lot of you guys. So, this is me, I mean, 9 years ago, and I look maybe a skinner, this is because, I had less donuts back then. So yeah, this is how it is. So I'm going to tell you now about how I experienced things and what was my perspective when I joined. So I came from Tunisia. It's a North African country. It's that small, tiny country that would be with the size of New York, if I'm going to compare it. And I moved from Tunisia, to Michigan. That's what I had to do my PhD. Okay. So as I was coming to the States, I had perhaps the same vision that you guys all had, right? The States for us was what we have seen in the movies, documentaries, the news, right? It's going to be an interesting journey. That you will find your dream job very quickly. Everything will be lined up for you. But I actually landed in Detroit. Okay. And Detroit is a different story, right? This is where I started realizing that the story that I was having in mind is going to be different. Okay. And me thinking that once I graduate, right away, I'll find all these corporates and companies running after me to hire me was just in my dream. But the reality is a different story. Okay. You will have to find your own way because that way is no longer there. Okay. I've seen many talented people, extremely skilled, better than me, struggling to find a job and make a living. That's how when I first arrived, I found things, And I believe that even with COVID, things are now even harder. So this is back then, the situation, how it was, right? So did not take me long to realize that I have to reflect on myself and realize that, okay, this is not what I was signing up for. And I had to do something different, right? So I started by planning what I want to be in the next 10 years, what I should be looking like in 10 years, okay? And I realized that if I wanted to do that, I have to take actions immediately, okay? So I thought about an action plan and I followed that action plan, and that action plan has mainly multiple dimensions, but the first one is I have to focus on my education first and not look for money. This is the first thing I realized, okay? The quicker I wanna go for the money, I'm losing the opportunity of learning and becoming a better person. This is how I thought about it, right? So because you can see it as a multi-objective optimization problem. The faster you go for the money, the less you will learn and be ready for your career. So I decided to invest in my career first before jumping into my profession. Okay. And to do that, I had to invest on myself into 3 different dimensions. The first dimension is education, then profession, then society. So for education, The first dimension, I started taking classes, as a grad student, just like you guys, and this is me taking this database course. And I knew that every moment I'm spending in the classroom is valuable. So I started paying a lot of attention to every single detail instructions are given. And all the assignments they used to give to us, for me, that was the bare minimum. If the assignment is professor is giving me 2, 3 exercises, I will have to do 10. If they give me 10, I have to do 20. I knew I had to do more to be better. Because if you want to be different, you have to be truly different, right? So I started, taking my classes seriously, taking all the time seriously, and I started working a lot on my house or at the lab, right? And this is one of the labs that I used to work in a lot as a grad student. And maybe this picture is typical to you because every one of you guys will take this moment and start studying. But I want to raise your attention to the time, here. So this picture was taken. This picture was taken at 2:40 a.m. in the morning. Okay, this is one of the grad students. They forgot their phone in the lab. They came back at 2 a.m. and then they found me still working at the office. That's how you are different. That's how you become different than others. You have to really spend every single moment of your time now, investing in your education. Okay. And let me throw some numbers. 1, 2, 3, 12, and 16,000. Okay. So one is the number of exercises from algorithms that I used to work on every day. I didn't say I'm solving them, but I'm thinking about them. So I would take an exercise every day from this book, Directions to Algorithms, and I would spend hours working on that exercise, trying to solve it. Sometimes I solve it, sometimes I don't. I will check online for a lot of solutions. I will compare solutions. I will implement all these solutions and start learning from them. And within a couple of semesters, I was able to solve almost half of that book. Within a couple of years, I almost solved all of the book. And I still have that book with my own handwriting, on my shelf right now. This is how I was learning how to become a better computer scientist. Because why? Because you have to learn the foundations. It's very simple. Languages, they change, but foundations, they remain, okay? 2 is the number of research papers I used to read every day. Why? Because I knew that I was really, passionate about software maintenance and evolution and testing and quality. So you had to know what are the problems and challenges developers are faced every day. Because if I can learn these problems, I can prepare myself better as a software engineer, but also as a researcher. So that's why I was always constantly reading papers on a daily basis. So 3 is the number of projects involved in this per semester that I was involved in. Either they are, with other professors doing research or with class projects. So I've been working on a lot of projects on a daily basis. And these projects, they allow me to build some sort of experience because a lot of you guys will have the same question. How do I showcase experience in case, I don't have any and they ask for experience when I go for the job interviews, right? Well, if you still think that people would look at your resume when they're going to evaluate you, that you're living in the past. Right now, they look at your GitHub. Okay. If you want to look at who you are, they'll look at your GitHub. So if you don't have a GitHub or your GitHub does not have enough contributions, then you're behind. Simple. Okay. So you start working on all these projects. So do something significant enough for you to showcase it on your GitHub. This is how you show that you're experienced. Okay. And they can evaluate that very quickly. Okay. 12 is also, and again, I was working a lot of projects that are linked to search-based software engineering because I wanted to learn how to apply AI to solve software engineering problems. So I was picking topics that are aligned with my passion. Okay, I wanted to use machine learning for software engineering. I wanted to use evolutionary computing for software engineering. So I was learning a lot and doing projects that are matching my career expectations or what I wanted to do in the future, right? And then 12 is the number of hours per day that I used to spend investing on myself. I did not say doing homework, investing in general. Either I'm watching tutorials, helping people, working on my classroom assignment, asking professors. So I was spending almost 12 hours a day contributing to being a better software engineer. 16,000 is how much I spent out of my own pockets on investing on myself, buying licenses for software, traveling to conferences on my own, doing a lot of things, buying books, tutorials, anything, courses online, So I was spending a lot on myself right now, even though I was just like you guys. I didn't have enough money. I wasn't not really working much. I was just making some money from being a TA or research assistant. But I still realized that every single penny I spent now, it will return to me back later if I know how to do myself a better person. So I knew this is the right investment to do. Okay. So if I want to take the example of class projects, right? So you know that for every class project that you are doing right now, you will always have someone who is responsible to do all the work and the others are just there. We all know that, as software engineers are supposed to prevent that from happening. But by the end of the day, this may happen a lot. You may end up having, you may end up finding yourself with a group of members that are not necessarily working the way you want. So just one advice, be that person that does 90% of the work. Be that person now, okay? You should be that person because in the future, this is how you would showcase your work, okay? Is that you are able to pull this up and make it happen, right? But it's not easy. I know it's not easy because you'll end up really being the only guy doing all the work and others are just watching and you may not like it, but guess what? This is how you learn. This is how you become better than them, right? So on my last project that I took as a student, I had a group of 4 students with me. So sorry, 3. So we were a group of 4. We were 3 students with me and we met to decide about what should we do for the project, right? So I told them, I will be responsible for picking the problem. I will design the solution. I will implement the solution. I will test it. I will validate it, and I will write the report for the project. And they were looking at me and saying, "Okay, but what about us?" I said, "Well, you do whatever you want. This is going to be the one. I'm going to do all this work, and I will only accept yours if you do it better than me. So pick any part of the project. If you think you can outperform me, I'll take it from you." This is how I was serious about my work. Okay, this is the level of seriousness that I had. And because of that, right, getting a degree and getting a full GPA become a consequence and not a goal. Okay, it will just come on its own. Okay, so this is how you become very good at what you do, and this is how you earn what you do. Okay, so that was the first lesson that you have to learn is right now, is you have an opportunity to be better because you will need it in the future. Okay. The first takeaway is find your passion and be good at it. It's very simple, okay? So the second dimension is profession. And I picked this dimension specifically for you because I know that you're going through maybe in the future job interviews. So I want to share with you some of the things that I did in that thing. So we all are looking for co-ops and internships, because it's an opportunity for us to develop, our skills, to have some experience, to have mentorship experience. It's very unique experience, and I would recommend that you all do that. So as a grad student, I did that myself, right? But to do that, I had to prepare a resume. Okay, so I sat with myself. I took everything I'm doing, education-wise, and then skills, and then research projects I'm working in, and all the experience that I had, and then I started throwing them all in one resume, right? And I ended up building this long resume. I think it was like 8 or 9 pages back then, right? So it was 2013, I believe. So it was like 9 pages, and I did not realize that that resume would hide who I am for the recruiter. Okay. So after doing this, I took the line for interviews, of course. I had many calls, I had many people interviewing me, but then I started realizing quickly that I'm getting rejected everywhere. Okay. So that's when I realized I'm missing something. And I was really confused. Why am I getting rejected? Why am I getting calls back? Why? But even though I thought I was doing the right thing, in my interview, right? So I started like wondering why this is happening to me. Why am I the only one that's having this? But that's because I missed the big picture. The big picture is that I'm not alone. There are millions of people like me searching for jobs at the same time. Okay. And if you don't believe this, this is how a career fair is looking like, right? Look at how many job offering and look at how many people are looking for jobs. So it is extremely competitive. Okay. So if you are not different, you cannot get into a job that easily. It's very simple. Okay. You have to realize this now. Okay. So what should I do then? Right. I have to do an extra step that maybe other students are not taking. Right. I have to understand the market. I have to understand what the employer is looking for. Okay. So I started asking two questions. Whenever I see a job posting, I'll ask two questions. What do they need? Not what do I need? This is the first mistake I was doing. I was looking for jobs, thinking about what do I need to learn from, to get from them. No, you have to switch it the other way around. What do they need? You have to understand what the employer is looking for. And when you understand that, you will understand whether you are fit for it or not. Okay? So you start looking at it the other way around, and this will make things easier for you. But it's not an easy thing to do, by the way, because it's easy to focus on yourself and be egocentric. It's very easy, but it's so hard to remove that and focus on what they want. Okay? So to do that, I have to go and open the company's, or if I see a job posting, I will go and open the company's website. I see all the projects they work on. I start looking at all their staff. I look at the LinkedIn of their staff, their Facebook, their Twitter, to understand what they're doing and what they need. Okay? And then I'll start looking at how do I fit in this company now? And if I cannot answer that question myself, there is no point for me to go and apply, because then they will not be convinced. It's simple. So I have to convince myself before I can convince them that I'm fit for this job. Okay, so because in the interview, if you think about it, the interview may have 10, 20, 50 questions, but there's only one question that you have to answer properly. Why should we hire you? So did you think about that question first? No. If you don't, then how would you answer that? That's the actual question they're looking for. Right? So you have to prepare that answer yourself before you can go to the interview. Okay, so I did that. I start cutting out all the unnecessary stuff. So when I see a job posting, I do my homework. I see what they want. So instead of me throwing 9 pages of what I am, I would cut and keep it only for what they need. Okay, so instead of having all this information, I start putting only relevant information. Okay, so I start only looking at things that they need. I would put that in the resume. So if they're looking for someone with this skill set, then I will remove all the rest and just focus on that one and make sure they understand how and why I fit on that job. Okay, and doing that, I start having a lot of interviews. I start getting the same type of questions. They're happening the same way, right? So tell us something special about you that we can learn from or we can get it from you. My answer was, okay, I use multi-object visual computing using the non-dominating sorting to generate, that was the first answer, right? Generate this Pareto front to contain near optimal solutions that contain a sequence of refactorings that would you apply to improve your design. And the recruiter is like, okay, next person, okay? And now, after me understanding what they want, they would ask the same question. So tell us something special about you. How do you refactor code? I gave them the same answer. And I think that you need refactoring in your company because you've been working on this project and it's a legacy system. And I'm sure you did not find time to fix or to refactor it. And if you keep your design in a bad shape, it would not help you meet the deadline. They would tell me, how did you know about our project? No, because I did my homework. Simple. Now I would tell them, yes, I checked your website, I've seen what you do, and I think that you need help with this aspect. Well, guess what? I'm hired. It's very simple. Okay, you start doing your homework in a better way, understanding the market dynamics, understanding what they want, and see how do you fit in that market, and that's how you can get the job. Okay, so second takeaway, convince yourself before you can convince people. It's very simple. Okay. You want to take questions later? I guess I'll just take questions later. So I'll keep going. So the third dimension, which I think also is extremely, extremely important, is the society. Okay. You should have already realized that the States has a unique aspect to it, which is having people from all over the world. Okay. And right now, think about it. Did you really take advantage of that? Did you really embrace that right now? No, because you're busy with school and you're busy with university and you're busy with homeworks. But guess what? You are missing a big time opportunity to be a better person as well. Okay. Why? Because this is such a diverse society that you would not find anywhere. And if you do not embrace that society, you would not be able to belong to it later. Simple. If you want to understand how you want to find the appropriate life and work balance, you have to learn it now at the university. Okay. But me, I was coming from a small country, from North African country. So I knew everything about my own culture, but I need to know other people's cultures. So therefore, I jumped into all the organizations that I can get to at the university. The International Student Club, which has all people from all over the places, right? I started attending all the Indian events with all the Indian clubs. I started going to all the Chinese events, Asians, right? Latinos, right? Africans, of course, Middle Easterns. I was everywhere. I was learning their culture, understanding their dynamics, so I can understand how to belong to them in the future, right? And I was actually also serving a lot in their orgs. And this is just one of the videos that I was in when they were preparing for their International Student Day. Okay, I'm going to play this video. Let me share this sound first because I think I have to do that so you can hear the video. Share sound. So I'll let you watch the video now. This is the International Club, and you'll see me sitting in.
Con los terroristas.
No, I stopped it. So you see me sitting here, of course, and this is us advertising for an event that will happen in 2 or 3 weeks, and we're trying to attract everyone to come over and embrace diversity.
And do the Harlem Shake.
Con los terroristas. Con los terroristas.
And do the Harlem Shake.
Con los terroristas.
Yep, that brings a lot of memories, So I don't know whether you saw me falling from the table though, but yeah, that was me falling from the table in that video. So yeah, just to tell you that besides education and preparing for profession, you have to also prepare for your social life. This is very important, right? And besides all the awards and recognition that you will get once you start doing this, right? You will get a lot of interesting awards and everything, which will improve your extracurricular activities because now you can showcase that to your future employers. That also allow you to know your future colleagues, neighbors, friends better. And you'll be able to take a selfie like this one with people from 17 different countries, 17 different countries. This is how you can embrace diversity and culture, right? So the third takeaway is very simple, right? Break your social boundaries now. Now you have to break all the barriers now, right? And invest and also in serving your society. It will be very beneficial to you. And when I came to the States, I had maybe less than 100 friends on Facebook. Now Facebook is telling me that I have to remove friends because I have 5,000. Okay, so this is how much you can build connections, and all these people can be very
Mohammed,
helpful.
your screensaver went on. We can't hear you, and we're saying Star Wars or something.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now? Hello?
So we can see your 17 nation picture, but we can't hear you.
You cannot hear me? Hello?
Can't hear you.
Muhammad,
Yeah, it's his screen that's being shared. So I'm not sure what this is. Is that the RIT screen sharing going weird?
This is like, did the screen get hijacked by
Yeah, I
somebody?
think this took it over.
We're in
Hello?
1710, right?
Hello, can you hear me now?
So the
Hello?
cybersecurity people are paranoid. We're going to be using their stuff. So you may hear me say often, paranoia, productivity. There's a balance. Just like work, study, life, there's a balance.
Okay,
Hard
that
to
was
find, but it's there.
really weird. Hey, Mohammed, can you hear me? No, you cannot hear me. No? So much for cybersecurity. This is like crazy. I've never seen. This is exciting.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I'm using now my phone. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I say my microphone failed. That's what Zoom told me. I don't know why. I didn't change anything. So
Can you hear
that's
me?
okay.
Mohammed,
Yes, I can hear you,
me?
Travis. Yes.
Okay, like another computer just started like taking over the projector. It was like looking at YouTube videos and things. It was the oddest thing I've ever seen. So I don't know how, like, maybe it was like plugged into one of the other. Right? I don't know. Yeah, so much for cybersecurity in the cybersecurity building.
Okay.
Sorry, you're back on.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. All right. All right. So yeah. So I guess the third takeaway would be, of course, that it's the moment for you now to break your social barriers and invest in serving your society, and be open to other cultures. So this is a very important aspect. And as I was still saying, when I came to the States, I had like less than 100 friends on Facebook. Now Facebook keeps telling me that I can no longer add friends because I have over 5,000. So in 9 years, I was able to have more than 4,900 friends that did not make back when I was, through high school and everything. So this is to tell you how much you can build connections very quickly if you are able to break those barriers. And these connections, they can help you with everything, including finding a job. So yes, I was able to even, have a lot of friends offering me references and everything. So yes, build connections, build network. It is extremely important right now. And this is the moment to do it, okay? So, and I guess this also, the diversity allowed me to really enjoy being at RIT because RIT is such a diverse place. And it allowed me to connect with a lot of people, other faculty or staff or students. And I'm really enjoying it because this is how it is. So I hope that, this story or my story was able to, give you some ideas, some inspiration, some takeaways that you should be ready for. So you can, build a better career in the future. Yeah. Thank you, guys. I guess I can take questions.
Yeah, thank you, Mohammed. Questions, comments, experience.
I like the story. I think it was pretty interesting to find out more about him as a faculty. So he needs a new account because he needs more followers. So
Yeah, a pseudonym.
yeah.
So my story is very different, but Mohammed and I ended up in sort of the kind of same place. But I was raised as an engineer, an electrical engineer. So computer science exists, but I was an engineer. I wanted to build stuff. And so I went into industry, spent 15 years in industry, then came back to academia, been here for 20 some years. So a lot of gray hair, a lot of experience I'd love to share with you. So some of you are looking for jobs in industry. I've been there, I can help. Hey, Travis, you want to transition to the club?
Yeah, that would be great. I actually have to go in a couple of minutes, so it'll be a good handoff to Ruben and Estelle here.
He had a class where he was in the
You're gonna go?
Yeah, I can
You want to give a presentation or just sit there or?
Oh, well, I was just planning on giving a little like kind of speed on where we're at right now in the process and what we plan to do. That's all right. Stand up there.
Yeah, take the position of power. With all official.
Just have some notes on here. So I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but Tolu spoke with Ernest Foucault. Yeah, Foucault. About Data Fest, because RIT tends to host a Data Fest every year, and he said that we're definitely having one this year. So that's really exciting and potentially like a place that the club could shine and get some like publicity. Bradley Harker, who is the head of public relations for cybersecurity, confirmed that we can collaborate on an event together and get funding for it if we can consider it to be like an educational event. That's good. We're submitting the application today to become an official club. So it should be soon when we can like meet for our first meeting. And so the Data Science Club, what we're planning is having like tutorials, Kahoot games, mini data fests, as well as like full-blown data fests, and lots of professional development. We have a lot of people interested. And surprisingly, I was a little concerned, like I wanted undergraduates in the club too, and I was worried they wouldn't be interested, but we've actually gotten quite a bit of interest from undergraduates as well, which is awesome. We plan on having these like mini data fests, like 45 minutes where people are in teams and they compete for prizes. We give them like a real world problem based on a data set, and they, the team that wins gets a prize. So we want it to be as like fun and engaging as possible. It's very exciting. So, and a lot of people are interested. I've gotten asked like many times in my classes, like when's the first meeting? So there's a lot of interest. So, super exciting. And if you guys have any ideas for how we can make the club better, or if you want to, we're looking for people to be on the e-board. So if any of you are interested in that, just let me know. That's pretty much it.
So if you allow me to say something, so this is perhaps, guys, an opportunity for you to jump into something big. This is another club that you can join and you can build connections. So if you refer to my previous slides, this is a moment for you to act and definitely be part of this club.
Yeah.
So Ruben, I have one thing, and this is just me speaking, given the like where I think we see data science on campus going. And since you're submitting the form today, have you landed on a name? So I think I talked to you and Tolu. I think given what's happening here on campus, it might be a little forward thinking to maybe call it like the data science and engineering, or data science and data engineering club.
Yeah.
Right?
Just data engineering.
Yes. What's that?
Just data engineering.
Why not?
Software engineering was not ignoring this.
So I don't know if you have any thoughts about that, or if you just want to stick with the name data science.
No, I mean, I think that's a great idea, because we want anything that will attract more people and interest to the club. We definitely want to do, and it sounds like that would. So I think that's a great idea. I think that it should be like, the data science, like the data engineering club, or something along those lines.
Yeah, data science and data engineering are two things, right? Data science is a little more established, but data engineering is kind of up and coming. And it's actually one of the things we're trying to do in our program, right? We want to make sure that you're a good data scientist, but you also know how to work with your data
that whole pipeline and be good engineers, right? So you can develop software systems that other people are actually going to use. And I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but I think if you can come up with something too, but if you include engineering in the title somewhere, either data science and engineering, or data science and data engineering, I think in the long term it'll help bring more students into the club, and also give you kind of some more options, and maybe even make it a little bit more unique, or kind of a front runner in some of these areas. So that's just my 2 cents, and I figured I'd get it in there now before you submit your form.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea. Yeah.
Well, I want to put in my 2 cents, the side track, it's not on top track.
That's fine.
So I represent the software engineering side. So in all your names, you have engineering, but not software. So I'd like to see a synergy in the department between the data science and software engineers to define what we mean by data engineering. So bring our 2 perspectives together as an engineer and a scientist and solve problems.
So like collaborating with the the software engineering
Yeah.
club.
We've got
Yeah.
a lot of them around there.
Yeah.
I think, and this is me, well, I have to go take my car to get fixed in a minute, but if you look at statistics, right, there's, I don't know how many startup companies nowadays, or companies out there that are trying to develop data science and AI solutions. And if you look at how many of them actually get a product that actually gets in use and is marketable and brings in revenue, it's like 10%, if that, maybe not even that. And my personal view is the reason behind that is the way I see a lot of data, quote unquote, data scientists doing things, it lacks any of the rigor of making a good software system that can be used, reused, supported. So if you really want to be a good data scientist, you also have to be a good software engineer, or else you're going to make something, but you're not going to be able to actually develop a system that can scale, can be marketable, can be used in a company. You can sit behind your desk and write some Python and R scripts, and that's great. And you might be able to, show your manager a couple pretty charts. But if you want like a real system that's going to be used by people and actually, generate revenue or be useful, you've got to go beyond that. So I think it's something to keep in mind in the back of all your brains, right? When you're looking to be marketable and successful in your career.
Know what they want. Be that.
Thank you.
All right.
Sorry,
we got a highlight.
And just one thing we want to emphasize is professional development, and we want to create a network of people who are out in working in an industry and also in academia, so that new graduates have those connections. So we want to definitely cultivate that type of network with alumni and in the club, if that makes sense. So
Okay.
yeah.
From software engineering perspective in the department, the Society of Software Engineers is a long-lived, powerful, well-organized. I don't think they're a club. They're more than a club. They're a department organization of some sort. We provide mentoring services and so on. So they have the connections, know how to run the connections and such. So I don't know, I think maybe the graduate students, SSC tends to be more undergraduate oriented. The graduate students have an overlap that may not feel comfortable with that overlap, and vice versa for the undergrads.
Yeah.
So having them as 2 distinct but cooperating clubs looks best right now.
Okay.
But that'll give you a jump start on your network connections and how to set up communications and board members and stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Okay.
So to emphasize the relationship between software engineering and data science, we have a pair of forces. One is in operation, but one is data science for software engineering. So repository mining, bug tracking, defect detection. There's a lot of data science and AI kind of stuff that can be applied to software engineering, and Mom's doing a lot of that. We also have software engineering for data science. So as Travis said, you got to engineer these systems to be durable, usable, modifiable, extensible, testable, provable. reliable, that's engineering. Taking science and turn it into a product is hard, but that's where the money is. That's where the learning is, that's where the opportunity is. So I'm advocating, hopefully not too strongly, for a data engineering club that includes software engineering, data science. And it's a new name, so nobody will be affiliated, or anybody could be affiliated.
Yeah,
And PhD students should be here as well. Thank you, Andy, for that.
yeah, and we definitely want to have like the diversity within the club, with, you know, people from different areas like software engineering, some from data science, undergraduates, graduate level is like, I think that's like important in that way as well. So,
So I say start small, but leave the opportunity to grow.
yeah,
That's good software engineering. Open for extension, but closed for modification. So we're about out of time.
thank you.
So can I have a general feeling of a supported data engineering club or some name that we need to decide, but some sort of a dividing club? Anybody?
Sounds interesting. Any cool projects involved that in?
Okay, I have projects for you. Come on down. Okay, so Ruben and Togu is the other one.
Yeah.
So maybe you and Travis and I should talk and see what the next steps are before you submit your club application.
Yeah,
So the title of the club is kind of thing that is going to make it happen or not.
pretty important, yeah. Yeah, for sure, yeah,
So,
and, yeah, okay,
so maybe one of the things that the club can facilitate is agendas for the next series of meetings. So we'll provide some coffee and snacks. We need to know what you want to see, and you need to present what you want to see. This is an opportunity for you to present your capstone or your thesis proposal or your project results or whatever it might be. Okay. So I think we need to wrap up. We'll probably get kicked out. I have class coming up. Some people. Well, questions, comments, concerns?
So one thing we can do is, since it's going to be a mix of data science and software engineering, when it comes to presentations, we can have the data science folks show, okay, this is like, you know, how data science works, right? And from a software engineering perspective, we can have, you know, SEs to show, okay, this is how you write clean software. These are the best practices in writing software. So it's like a win-win on both sides.
yeah.
Taking another view of what Muhammad was saying. When Muhammad said do 99% of the work, you're going to work on projects that take 99 people. So you're going to have to learn how to work with each other. In terms of skill sets, when I talk to employers about software engineering students, those students can throw technology around right and left, but they don't know how to work together. They don't have the soft skills, teamwork, communication, problem solving, decision making. So we have a software engineering course on that. They want to take it as data scientists. But it kind of indicates the combined club is data science needs software engineers need data science, everybody needs both of them. Let's make it consistent, uniform, work together. That's not my soapbox. Thanks everybody for coming. Send me emails if you have comments.